Well, hello there, Gemini. How are you? It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we are going to do your weekly reading. This is good for the week of June 24th through the 30th. So let's jump into it. Let's see what's on the horizon for you. All right, you have Desert Passage, Trust There's a Divine Plan, Snake Spirit, Time to Heal, and Awakening, Live in the Moment. Okay, so this is the energy where I feel as if for some of you, this is auspicious. I'm going to say that. That's kind of interesting. This is a master number, 55, and fives are all about knowing that a change has to happen. Okay, there's a situation in your life, whether it's your career, a relationship, your lifestyle, something, okay, and you feel like you've given all you can to the situation, and it's not really kind of like bearing any fruit. Look at the desert is barren, right? And you're kind of like, okay, I'm not getting out of this situation what it is that I want. Okay, but it's kind of like this is a little bit of a different message with this card than usual, but it's kind of like you just continue on the path no matter what. It's kind of like, okay, well, I'll just keep trying. I'll try a little bit harder. So it could be a relationship, and you keep allowing yourself to give the other person another chance, or you continue to overgive in the situation, right? At work, you continue to overdo, overgive, stay late, and you're still not getting the promotion, the raise, the acknowledgement that you're seeking. There's something here where you're understanding, I can't continue on this path. It's like it's a dead end. You know something has to change. And remember, Snake Spirit, number 55. You understand that something has to change, but it's kind of like, well, I don't want to change. It's like this, I know this path. I know that there's no fruit being born here, right? I'm not harvesting anything. I'm living in this vast desert, and yet at the same time it's kind of like, but you're not willing to change. And there is something here about, it says live in the moment. It's almost like allowing yourself to see the reality of what is occurring in the situation, to see that the desert is bare, that you've given all you can to this situation or to this relationship, and just saying, okay, I've come to the end in this situation, but I feel like this has been a long time. Like you've been doing this for a long time. You've been sticking it out, thinking things are going to get better. And now you're recognizing, I have to make a change. It's about standing in the moment. And I think there's something about, it says live in the moment, and it's the awakening card, right? And we just had the full moon in Capricorn. You could have had this epiphany. We've had the summer solstice, the full moon in Capricorn. Both are about releasing things that you're attached to. This idea that if I keep working harder and harder at this relationship, this career, this job, this situation in my life, if I just keep working hard enough, okay, things will turn around. And that is true sometimes, Gemini, but I feel like this is a situation where it's kind of like looking at not just the fact that you're putting too much of yourself into this relationship or situation, but asking yourself that really difficult question, why? Why am I not allowing myself to change direction? Okay, so if you see in that desert, right, if you look here, you can kind of see the path. And that traveler is like, nope, that's the path. I'm going to stay on the path, and is staying focused on the path. Now, I'm not saying that it means that you're completely changing a goal or you're completely changing the direction of your life. But it's allowing yourself to say, I need to make some type of shift. I need to make some type of change in this situation. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to leave a job or that you're going to leave a relationship. It just means that you need to take a look at it clearly and understand you're not getting out of the situation. It's not bearing enough fruit for you to survive in the desert. or to survive in this relationship or situation, right? It's kind of like, I need to make a change. And I think you're embracing this. It's scary. I'll have to admit, there's a little bit of anxiety here because you're understanding that you're having to make a change in your life, but that change is going to put you on a better trajectory towards what it is that you truly want. Once again, it doesn't mean that you're saying, I have to change what it is that my heart desires. That's not it. You're not necessarily changing your goal or changing what it is that the direction of the where you're going. It's that you're changing the way you're going to get there. And I feel like this has something to do with longevity. Okay, being able to stay in the game. Okay, they're saying it's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, and you're kind of like going at this situation or relationship kind of like that it's a sprint. And thinking, you know, when you're sprinting, you're giving it your all because you're only going to go a short distance. This is the energy of, no, Gemini, this is a marathon. You can't go full force 24/7 and make it to the end. You're going to reach your goal, but you have to change your pace, or you have to change the way that you're not running like it's a sprint. You got to start running like it's a marathon. Kind of an interesting energy, I'll have to say, because I feel like some of you, a change in the wind. Something has to change. And look, something has to change, and it's going to bring more balance into your life. You're overgiving. You know, it's time to go. I feel like for some of you, you're thinking, I have to leave this relationship. I have to leave this job. I have to leave this career because you're like burnt out. If you're feeling burnt out, it's because you're giving more to this relationship or situation than you're getting out of it, right? And some of you are saying, okay, that's it. Then I'm leaving. But here's the thing. It's not necessarily that you have to leave the situation or relationship. It's changing your approach. Instead of a sprint, you're doing a marathon. Keep that in mind because the higher power is coming in. You have a leg up. This is kind of like if you allow yourself to change your tactic. That's kind of an interesting word. They're saying change the tactic, change the approach to how you are going after your dreams. I think if some of you, it's kind of a little bit like, I feel like if some of you think, if you're focusing like on a 1-year plan, it's about allowing yourself to look farther than that. Look 10 years, 20 years. Remember, Jupiter is in your first house right now, right? And will be there for about another year. It's about your legacy. What do you want to be remembered as long term? And I think that that is part of the change, is that thinking about it. If you're looking at just the next year, if your goals are focused on what you want in a year from now, right? That's a sprint. But whatever this situation or relationship is, it can go the distance. It can go out another 20 years or so. And so it's allowing yourself to say, okay, wait a minute. If I'm going to be doing something, right, whatever this is, if I'm going to be doing it for the next 20 years, right, I have to change my approach to it. I have to allow myself to not overgive to the situation. I need more balance in my life. I need to allow myself to balance work and play, or balance a certain relationship in your life and other interests that you have in your life. You know, for some of us, door to spirit, I feel like this has something to do with following your heart, understanding that you're changing. This is actually going to change your life. I feel like it could be that in your work sector, right, you're going at it 24/7. You're just like putting your all into it. And you're kind of a little bit burnt out. And one of the reasons is that maybe you're not having enough time for play, or you're not having relationships, or you haven't had a romantic relationship in a long time, right? It's allowing yourself to say, wait a minute, if I want to continue on this career path, if this is something that I want to continue to have in my life, I also have to have balance in the other areas of my life, including, I'm going to say, right, taking good care of yourself. there is a little bit here about, allowing yourself. They're really highlighting this heart. Taking good care of your heart, right? Eating perhaps more nutritiously, getting some exercise, mental health, right? Taking time to kind of meditate, to be in nature, allowing yourself to enjoy your life and not just feel like it all has to be all work and no play. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Yeah, ooh, you have the Tower coming in, and then you're on a new direction. Yeah. No, don't fear the Tower. I never fear the Tower. I know the word tower is a little bit scary, right? Because we think, oh no, we don't want big change in our life. But I feel like for some of you, that is the message that's here. Either you can make the change, okay? It's time for you to allow yourself to make this change, or the universe is going to come in and make the change for you. So it is about looking at your life and asking yourself, do I have balance in my life? Do I appreciate all of the wonderful things that I have in my life? And am I taking good care of the things in my life? The things in my life, the people in my life, and myself. There is a sense of needing perhaps a little bit more balance. And I think, you have the Five of Wands here. It's a little bit about understanding that you may have people that are vying for your attention, but I think it's internal conflict with yourself. You're allowing other people to kind of like dictate where you put your time and energy. This is you allowing yourself to say, wait a minute. I'm the one that gets to decide where I put my time and energy. And what do I want for myself long term, not just in the short term? And if you have some short-term goals right now, take a moment to see, are those short-term goals in alignment with what you want for yourself long-term? Sometimes we can get into the energy of thinking that we're working for a long-term goal, but then when we actually look at where we're putting our time and energy, they're not really in alignment with what we want for the long term. And sometimes we can convince ourselves, well, I'm only doing this for a short amount of time because I'm then trying to get to blah, blah, blah. But this is kind of like a wake-up call. This is Spirit coming in and saying, you need to make some changes in your life. And whether that is allowing yourself to be kind of like truthful with yourself about why you haven't. I feel like you know what changes you need to make, Gemini. I think you do. This is the energy of having that inkling for a while. I need to make some changes in my life, but maybe not being willing to really and truly do them. And one of the reasons is remember, Snake Spirit says time to heal. Asking yourself what perhaps wound you are maybe needing to allow yourself to do a little healing energy around. Some of the major wounds that we can have, okay, are, truth and trusting other people, guilt, abandonment, neglecting, neglection, neglecting ourselves, neglecting the things that we own, because we feel like we have to put time and energy into other people or things, or they may leave our life. And so they're all kind of like, intertwined. We can neglect ourselves or the things in our life or things that we know would be helpful to our own life and the healing of ourselves. Because we feel like, well, if I don't do that, then somebody may leave my life. And we also have the fear of abandonment, or we have the fear of trusting others to delegate some of the things that maybe we don't have to necessarily do ourselves, like trusting others to kind of like help us on our path. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting message because I feel like here's the thing. This is where you're going. Happy, happy. Woman holding a heart, and 10 of Pentacles. It's asking yourself, what do you want long term? And is what you're doing on a day-to-day basis in alignment with that? And especially, look, clean it up, anxiety, financial constraints, This is all about feeling as if the world is going to fall down around you, right? If you don't keep yourself going on the hamster wheel, if you don't keep running at that sprint pace. It's understanding, wait a minute, some of this that I'm putting time and energy into is really just because of some fear that's down deep inside of me, some wound that maybe I need to allow myself to take time to heal instead of allowing myself to just keep going as fast as I possibly can. Yeah, this is a really beautiful energy. You have a new path. You're seeing clearly now how where you may be just allowing yourself to just keep jumping through hoops. You see how the Knight of Wands is just jumping through the hoop of fire, right? It's kind of like, okay, if you feel almost like your life is one dramatic moment after another, or you're just feeling like, okay, I just have to it's that short-term hop again, right? I just have to get to the end of the month, and then things will calm down at work. But guess what? The next month, it's the same thing, right? And the next month, and the next month. If you find yourself saying, yeah, well, things will change when, okay? That's this energy of jumping through hoops and thinking you're getting somewhere, but you really aren't. It's allowing yourself to say, no, wait a minute. I see clearly where it is that I want to go long term. I'm starting on this path and I'm saying, okay, I know where I want to go, but I need to change my approach. I need to allow myself this energy of being balanced, of understanding. I feel like for some of you, you may be really like focusing on your career, but it's like all your time and energy goes there and you don't have time and energy left for relationships or hobbies or creativity, right? Or taking good care of yourself. It's understanding, wait a minute, I need balance in my life. And there's almost this energy of, and it starts today, right? It's kind of like having this epiphany. The tower can represent an epiphany. It could be this reading where you're having this epiphany, where you're understanding, yes, I have to make some changes in my life. For some of you, it could be allowing yourself to really embrace the spiritual side of yourself, your spiritual gifts, stepping into that energy of saying, okay, I have to allow myself to have time for my meditation, for my journaling, for spending time in nature, for talking to my guides. All of that is just such an important part of ourselves. And with the awakening and door to spirit, I think you're understanding how important that spiritual essence is for yourself. Especially if you're feeling like you're alone, okay? Or you're feeling as if, you're just not getting out of life what it is that you truly want. Asking yourself, why? Why are you continuing to put time and energy into things that are not producing what it is that you truly want? Allowing yourself to change some things in your life so that you are on the path towards what it is that you want for yourself long term. And that Jupiter in your first house is asking you to take a look at, how do you want to be remembered? What do you want people to say about you? How do you want to impact this world? When you leave the earth, what do you want to be remembered as? Yeah, and I feel like that is where it's coming in. It's such a beautiful energy. And I know if you have been feeling anxious and kind of like on pins and needles lately, right? Having this inkling, something has to change or something is about to change, right? And you don't know what it is. It's allowing yourself to see, I need more balance in my life. And I'll have to say, you have had this energy of a new person coming into your life. I think this is a little bit of the wake-up call. If you're spending 12 hours a day in the office or working on your career, how are you going to have time for a romantic relationship? It's allowing yourself to start carving out the time for that person, even though they're not on your path yet, right? It's allowing yourself to say, okay, I'm carving out the time for that person. And maybe even, allowing yourself to take 15, 20, 30 minutes a day that you just say, okay, I'm going to allow myself to to walk around the city and just like, maybe synchronicity will happen and that person will come onto your life, right? Or I'm going to take some time away. I'm going to find more balance and I'm going to put more time into joining clubs or hiking clubs or some type of meetings or community service or something where I can meet new people, where I could possibly meet my romantic partner. If you're spending all your time at the office or doing something in particular that takes a lot of time and energy, and it's not allowing you to spend time kind of putting yourself out there, then there's no way that this new person could really show up, right? So it's allowing yourself to say, okay, how do I tweak my schedule? How do I tweak my life so that I can, there is something about doors here, right? There is something about allowing yourself to open doors to new adventures, new people, new relationships, new way of life. You know, and I feel like with this energy, something about taking good care of yourself, right? Maybe it does mean you join a gym, right? And, you know, and you join the gym, you're taking good care of yourself and you meet a new somebody. Yeah, there's something here about balance. You have the Temperance card and you have the Libra energy. Finding that balance in your life. Allowing yourself to make some changes so that you have more balance in your life. You know, I did this once and it was really an eye-opener for me. I took the different sectors of my life, right? So you have your own health, your own self. You have your career. You could have family relationships, friends, romantic partners, hobbies, you know, traveling, whatever it is. And then take a piece of paper and chart for like a week. Like every 15, 30-minute intervals, where are you putting your time and energy? If the column for career is completely filled up and there's like no time under yourself or relationships or something, it's an eye-opener. It lets you know, wait a minute, my time is not equally balanced. And I get it, you know, if you have a job like a job where you have to work 8 hours a day or whatever, sure, there's going to be more time in that. But are you also finding some balance in other areas of your life? Yeah. And if you aren't, it is allowing yourself to say, why am I not doing that? And what changes can I make? And, you know, if you're saying, yeah, but Mary Sue, it's just for the next week or month or 3 months, and then I'll change. This is a little bit of a wake-up call. When the Tower shows up, it's a little bit of, no, it's time. Make the change yourself, or we'll be glad to help to come in and, you know, make the change for you. Okay, I love this. I feel like it's, you know, it really is allowing yourself to say, you know, what changes? If I'm spending all this time in my career and I'm saying I want a romantic partner in my life, right? But I'm not allowing myself to carve out any time for that person to be in my life now, right? And I say, well, when they come in, then I'll carve out the time. You're saying to the universe, I don't have time for that person until they show up. And the universe is saying to you, give us the time and we'll fill that space, right? So it's allowing yourself to have a little bit of a void in your schedule, but fill that void with ways in order to put yourself out there so that you can meet a romantic partner. You know, sitting on the couch doesn't fill that void. It's kind of like allowing yourself to get out, to step out of your comfort zone. Yeah, really beautiful. Okay, so what do I believe about money, and do my beliefs match my dreams? Yeah, and you know, we had the financial constraints. Now, let's talk about that, because money and our value around money and our worthiness are all related. Do you feel like you're worthy of having some changes, of having what it is that you truly want? If you're putting yourself out there and you're putting all this time and energy into something and it's not bearing the fruit that you want, asking yourself, okay, why? Do I not feel worthy of receiving it? Am I making space for it in my life? Am I allowing myself to open my heart for a new person or new situation, new job to come into my life? It's allowing yourself to understand what perhaps barriers you are creating that are preventing new things from coming in. Okay, so let's see what this says. How does your relationship with money affect your current situation? Do you believe you are worthy? Do you believe you are capable? Do you trust money? Does money trust you? Money is an energy. It ebbs and flows. You are worthy of it, and it's your responsibility to heal your relationship with money as part of your waking up to the whole of you and your purpose. Take a deep dive into your belief system around money. Are there any beliefs you need to upgrade to create the results you are wanting most in your life? Write out your money story. Is it a time for a sacred shift? What will be your next chapter? Yeah, I feel like part of this is understanding. I think you're giving a lot of time and energy, and I feel like to a career or some aspect of your life. You're giving a lot. It could be even family, like really taking care of family, but to the point where it's almost like preventing you from having other things going on in your life, right? You lost your identity in either a career or some other situation in your life. It's allowing yourself to say, why am I overgiving and not allowing more to come towards me or to make some change? And it's all about your sense of worthiness, right? Stepping into that. It's time to heal it. Time to understand that you do deserve what your heart truly desires, but you also have to align your time, your energy, your love, your resources in order for that to be available to you, right? It's not, manifesting is not just saying I want it, it's also making sure that the choices that we make on a daily basis are in alignment with what we want for ourselves, especially in the long term. There's something about long term here. All right, let's also pull an affirmation for you. And Gemini, I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Focus. I focus my logical mind to make smart, effective business decisions. Okay, so here's the thing, because I do feel like this has like that underlying business or career aspect to it. It's using your logical mind, right? And not allowing your any feelings of guilt or unworthiness, to emotions, to drive how much time and energy you're putting into your career. Is looking at it logically, right? Is looking at it, how much time and energy am I putting into this, and how much am I getting out of it, right? Is that balanced? And then how much time and energy am I putting into my career in respect to other areas of my life, and making sure that is balanced? Is using logic a little bit in this case, which is right up your alley, Gemini, right? It's allowing yourself to use your air sign ability to see clearly. And you had that. You had the King of Swords. See clearly, what is it that I want for myself long term? And then also analyzing, where are my time, my money, my energy, my love, my resources? Where is that going? Is it going towards what it is that I want for myself long term? Or am I kind of like fooling myself into believing that that's the case, but it really isn't? I really feel like this is almost like analyzing, truly analyzing where your time and money are going, right? And where your time and money are going is kind of like allowing you to see what is your most important thing to you in your life, right? If your time and money are going to one aspect of your life and not to the others, it lets you know what your top priority is. You may be saying, I want a romantic partner. You may be saying, I want to be healthier. But if you're putting all your time and money into your career, that's not that, then that is your priority, not romance and not your health. Yeah, beautiful energy here. It is, I think this week I'm going to track it and see how things play out, because I think it's something we can do on a regular basis just to make sure that we're really in alignment with what we want for ourselves long term. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave it there. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much for all your likes, subscriptions, and comments. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.